The American dream now is to leave America. It used to be come to America and build, forge a legacy. Now it's to get your money and get the hell out, my nigga. Lower cost of living don't exist unless you try to live next to the cows in Iowa. Quality of life in America, nigga, they don't even value life. Stress is through the roof. The dream didn't die, but they just moved overseas.
I'm just like so fucking fed up with everything. I don't want to talk to nobody anymore. I don't want to make any new friends. I don't have any anyways. I don't have money to go anywhere. Can't go on vacation. I feel like I know I'm not the only one mentally just exhausted right now, but I don't know how much more I can take.
Man, honestly, fuck the American dream. The American dream ain't never did nothing for nobody but put them in some goddamn debt. You buy a house, you in debt. You buy a car, you in debt. You start a business, you in debt. You try to go to school, you in debt. You telling me there ain't shit we can do in this life to where a motherfucker ain't gotta be in debt? Like nothing? And it's like, I know God intended for us to do more than just clock in and die. Because at this fucking point, that's all we doing. We barely making enough to survive, and we clocking in and dying. That's all the fuck we doing.
My Gen Z students know that they are absolutely cooked when it comes to this economy, this job market. They talk about it all the time. And I think partly being that self-aware of what's going on, whether it's through their parents or social media or whatever it might be, but knowing that the US is heading into dismal times is really where a lot of this lack of motivation to do things is coming from. I often hear it in class when we talk about many different things, but the reoccurring underlying issue is they know that the future that they're heading into is not great. And because of that, I can see some of the systemic underlying lack of motivation, which is just unfortunate, but that's where I think we're at.
The American dream as we know it today is now officially a scam. I was listening to a clip from Tucker Carlson and he was going in on this specific fact. I really agree with him. A lot of young people have been lied to for way too long, and I think they're all waking up, and I am totally for it. The sentiment has always been you go to college, get a good degree, then you get a good job, then you buy a home, you find a wife, you have kids, all those things. You have that white picket fence, but all of that now is falling away. College students right now have the highest level of unemployment literally ever in history. And so what did all these kids do? They took on a ton of student loan debt, and now they have no way to pay it back. And now a lot of them are mad, and rightfully so. So there's a lot of ways that we can try to fix this, but if you are in that situation where you are overwhelmed with debt, number one, you need to take a little bit of a humble pill, move back in with your family, pay down your debt as aggressively as possible, and get out of that debt snowball. And if you're in school right now, I highly recommend starting a side hustle. I tell you all the time on all my videos, you need to prepare for not just having a full-time income, but having an additional income that you generate by yourself, regardless of who employs you. My last thought, if college costs $200,000 and you can't guarantee that you're going to get a job, don't take on that student loan. If renting is cheaper than buying in your area, then use the math and make a decision and go forth and be confident. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts in the comments, but I think right now this whole American dream is starting to fall off.
Gen Z can't afford to move out of their childhood bedrooms. And this is not theoretical. This is now the Wall Street Journal reporting on this. And it's being echoed in my comments like this one. I love being 26 years old, having a full-time job and a master's degree, and still living at my parents' house. Our parents built their lives in an economy where one job and one mortgage could secure a home. Now, Gen Z graduates at the top of their class are sending out hundreds of job applications, getting a full-time job, and still are not able to make enough to move out of their parents' house. Because rent, unexpected expenses, and healthcare costs are draining every cent from paychecks before the next month even starts. Even the parents are reporting the same thing to the Wall Street Journal. There is no way that she could afford to move out. Housing costs are skyrocketing. Healthcare is a financial trap. Entry-level jobs are demanding years of experience, and wages are just not keeping pace. So from a very honest perspective, young adults are not failing. but the system is definitely failing them.